What's going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with a middle of the week live stream finally. I know it's been a long time. First and foremost, for those of you that are new to the channel and looking to maybe hop into the stock market or just try to find another potential source of income for yourself and achieve financial freedom, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here. We have about 415 of us. Actually, I think we're like 414 now to be exact. So it's awesome stuff to see the channel and the community continue to grow. And definitely feel free to check out our Discord group chat. It's totally free. I don't charge for any groups or anything like that whatsoever, any courses, anything whatsoever. That link should be one of the first in the description box. But so a lot of you know that I've been working till like 5 at the earliest, usually 6, 7, close to 8 o'clock at night lately. Well, it was the end of the month and it rained its butt off today, so I literally only did like 5 stops today. I only had 8 or 9 scheduled to begin with, and I only completed 5. Most people are like, why would you treat in the rain? I just say, I know, right? But I have to try to do as many as possible. How's it going, guys? Man, you guys were quick on it today. But today was a crazy day. So I noticed, like, obviously with me, you guys know I was talking about setting up an XOP Iron Condor, which is beautifully set up right here. And I mean, it's working out like picture perfect for me right now. I would say, I forgot how to check it exactly, but earlier when XOP was at like 36, I think it was up to like almost $37 at one point earlier whenever I was looking at it. And my potential for profit, if I were to hold all the way till the end of Friday, it had gone down from 91% down to 69, which is still a decent chance, right? And obviously that max potential for profit is based on holding till the end and collecting your full credit. In this case, $11 minus $4.50 and change, so about $7 after all commissions and fees, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like I keep stressing to you guys, do not think about the dollar standpoint, think about the percentage. So overall, I had to put up 44, just over 44, pretty much 44.50 in collateral to receive about $7. So $7, or yeah, about $7 if my phone will work, divided by 44.5 is still 15.7% profit in a week. And what do I keep preaching to you guys? I mean, if you can just break it down into percentages, I know, Josh, you were mentioning this earlier in the Discord group chat as well, that when you start thinking about it in percentages instead of dollars, you can really start to see your account start to compound and grow really, really fast. And I know Josh has had some really good success lately doing SPY options, mostly shorting it because, I mean, it's just been a crazy month, right? But if you can just think in percentages and think, like, break that 15.7% down divided by 5 market days, that's 3.14% per day. And what do I keep preaching? If you can do somewhere in the range of even 1.5% to 2% up to 5% a day on average, I mean, you're just going to watch your account just mathematically explode into a bunch of profit. And that's where I've really just personally grown as a trader, and I know a few of you guys have as well. It's just once you get out of the mindset of trying to maximize the dollars and instead maximize your percentage, they go hand in hand with one another, but it's just easier to cover your profits and move on whenever you start thinking in terms of, hey, you know what, I'm up 8% on this, I'm going to go ahead and cover, right? Versus where you're like, man, I'm only up $8, because I mean, when you think about it, 8% on a $100 investment would be $8 roughly. So don't think of it in terms of dollars, especially when you're starting with a small account. Sorry about that. Has something get caught in my throat. Think in terms of percentages. It just makes life a lot easier. Like me, I know good and well, for now, I'm not going to see like any returns until December, when I can throw like $400 or $500 into my trading account, and then starting off the new year, I'll be investing well over $1,000 a month. That is when I know I'm going to start seeing some really decent returns, because I mean, obviously I'm not going to throw all my account into like one trade like this and buy like 100 Iron Condors or anything. But let's say I got my account up to $5,000. I was pretty confident in this position, which I was, 90% return, or 90% chance of return on a 15.5% return on investment. And actually it'd be more, obviously, because if I did multiple, you get just the one commission rate instead of having like one for each Iron Condor. So say, oh, how's it going? Another subscriber. I need to turn off my notifications, but welcome. But let's say out of that $5,000 account, I wanted to trade roughly $1,000, so that'd be about a quarter or a fifth of my total account size. $1,000 times that about 15.5%, if I can type on this damn phone, wow, I can't do anything right on this phone today. 1,000 times 0.15. So just off 15% alone, you're looking at $150 made for the week just off of that $1,000 investment. So like I said, you can see how if you just look at it from terms of percentages, not dollars, you will see the dollars come over time. Just ask Josh. He was down to like $80, and I know lately he's been having like damn near $50 a day, somewhere around their returns, like 15 here, 50 here. I think if I remember right, you had like a $60 or $70 return sometime last week. But I mean, and he even mentioned once I start thinking in terms of percentages, it's a lot easier to just cover the profit and take what you can off the table. So I wanted to hit that super hard because I know a lot of people just get stuck in thinking, how many dollars in a day can I make? How many dollars in a week? Because that's the end goal, right? Most people that are watching these videos, trying to figure out other sources of income, you want to make this income, right? So you know, I need to make $5,000 a month. I need to make $10,000 a month to be able to quit my job and do this full time, right? But when you're first starting, you shouldn't even be thinking about that. You should be thinking, how can I make good, positive returns every single day, every single week, every single month? Have a macro goal and then break it up into micro goals. Like, honestly, you shouldn't be necessarily looking at a daily goal saying, today I want to do 5%. Today I want to do 4%. Like, just take the profit as you can. If it's 1%, take the profit. If you're iffy and you don't have a good feeling about it, take that money off the table. Just think in terms of a week. That's why I like doing like these weekly Iron Condors. So short term, especially in a volatile market like this, if I can return 10 to 20% a week and not even really have to do anything other than check it maybe 2 or 3 times a day at the most, why would I not just do that? But just, I can't stress enough, think in terms of percentages. Do weekly goals, then do monthly. Start out with just weekly goals. Say, this week I want to try to do, especially if you're brand new, I want to do a weekly goal of 10%. I want to do 10%, which is really high in all honesty. You should realistically start around 5%. 5%, that means what, an average of 1% a day if you want to break it down, or 2% one day, nothing the next. You get what I'm saying. You should start out with a goal of probably 3 to 5% when you're first starting out. And then when you start having success doing that, then maybe step it up to around 7 or 8. And then you can just, obviously you're not going to more than likely consistently do 15, 20, 30, 40% a week. I mean, those are just the crazy volatile weeks where you were on the right end of the stick and you have some major, I mean, there's some cases where, yeah, you're going to do 100% on your account in a week. But then chances are you're going to have a couple red trades here and there. Just average out. If you can average 10% a week, I mean, you're going to be not just outperforming the market, but 99% of traders by far. Keep in mind, 93% of all traders fail. Why? Because they just don't stick to the fundamentals. They think more about dollars instead of percentages. So anyways, now that I got that rant out of the way, let me make sure our stream health is doing all good before I dive in. Hopefully this will load up. We got 3 of you tuning in. Good stuff. And like I always say, if you have any questions or ticker symbols you want me to break down, just shoot them out there in the chat box, and I'll be sure to take a look at them. I'll pull up TD Ameritrade here in a minute after I go over the Iron Condor. So you can see right now my XOP Iron Condor is just spot on, essentially. It's leaning more towards bullish. Like I said, I expected XOP to try to attempt to push up, but it got rejected today right around $37. If we look at the chart, you can see that we kind of had this double top, and then sure enough it came back down. So very good sign, of course. I was kind of confused in all honesty why oil and XOP even went up and Gush went up today, because the overall oil supply was actually up this last week from what I heard. So if anything, that should bring oil prices down. So I don't know if it was just the whole inverse happens before it continues to go further down. If so, awesome. I mean, it can go down to around 33.30, 33.50 before I would be like out of the money, and my Iron Condor would be blown up at that point. So I mean, I still got $2.50 to go. Or no, yeah, about $2.50, $3, somewhere in there to go. on the downside, and I still have about $1.50, $1.75 to the upside. So I'm probably going to hold this at least through Thursday, which is tomorrow, of course. I bought this on Monday. Like I said, I put up $44.54 worth of collateral for this position, with receiving $11 of credit. So actually, my math is actually totally wrong. I said $7 of credit would be what I would take after commissions. That would be if I had to physically close the position. If I just let it expire worthless, I save on the commissions by not having to go in and close, which is what I'm planning on doing. So if I get that $11 in full without having to do anything, just let everything expire worthless, which is obviously the main goal, $11 divided by that $44.54 investment is 24.7%. So I mean, that's a huge rate of return on a week, guys. Like I said, if you I cannot press it enough. That's going to be a lot of what this stream's about, on top of what I actually bought in October as well. Just stick to percentages. The fact that I turned $44 into $55 essentially is awesome, if you ask me. So yeah, anyways, this is the only Iron Condor I have right now. Chances are, whenever this one's up on Monday, I'll probably go ahead and set another Iron Condor either on XOP or SPY. You can see the IV rank on XOP has come down a little bit. It was like 89. Right now it's at 75, which is still pretty high. So the premiums are going to be nice and juicy still. So that's the thing, guys. Whenever volatility is so high, that's when your Iron Condors are going to pay you the most money. Why? Because it's so volatile, the prices are going through the roof on those options, right? So when you're the premium collector, you're going to get a lot more money, of course. So that's it essentially for my Tastyworks account and my Iron Condor. As you can see, I'm pretty much right where I need to be. In all honesty, I hope it goes down a little bit. I mean, it's not really, obviously we're in after hours, so I mean, it's not going to move an awful lot, but I hope to wake up tomorrow morning. I hope at the bell this is somewhere under $36. If it's under $36, I'll be a lot more happier. But either way, like I said, I still got like $1.50 until it's outside of where it needs to be. So that would be roughly a 2.5 to 3% move on XOP, which I don't see happening tomorrow. It already moved like 2% or 3% up today. So with that, I'll go ahead and pull up TD Ameritrade. Go ahead and get that real quick. So let me go ahead and get you guys pulled back up too. And like I said, as my slow Thinkorswim app loads up, if you guys have any ticker symbols or anything like that you guys want me to take a look at, definitely shoot them out there. I just went over the Iron Condor on Tastyworks. I just closed that out, and we're about to hop into Thinkorswim, like I said, so we can take a look at stuff that I have purchased, if it'll load. There we go. For some reason, the Thinkorswim app loads atrociously slow. No matter on any laptop I've ever had it on, it's slow. I mean, let me know how it works for you guys. Now on the app, I love the app. Thinkorswim app for your phone is by far, like, it's all that I use whenever I'm looking like on the road or whatever. But as for the actual download for your laptop, it's atrociously slow whenever you first load it up. Thoughts on the overall market? I think volatility continues going into November. I think late November we will probably slow down a little bit, but I still think from like the S&P or SPY, which we talk about SPY a lot, of course, is what I kind of just use as my quote-unquote the markets. I think SPY is going to retest 260. I know right now it's like at what, 271 or something like that. We'll take a look here in a minute. I know earlier when I was looking at it, it was like 270, 271. I do believe it's probably going to come and retest 260 one more time. We did not see any panic at all during this correction. I mean, we had a lot of selling, but it was all, the selling was on light volume. We never had like any panic. We didn't have, I mean, we had that swing, that 900 point swing the other, what was it, Monday, where we were up like 400 or 500 points, and then by the end of the day we ended down 200 or 300, something like that, and overall it had swung 900 points at some point. But if we can go over to SPY. So yeah, right around 270, 271. Yeah, like I said, I think personally, let me go ahead and zoom in here. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be an important day. You can see we're testing this. This is going to be a resistance. It got rejected once, it looks like. Let's go ahead and zoom in further. Yeah, so it already got, apparently we did come up to like 273 at some point. And what happened? It got rejected. Now we're at 270.63. So if it cannot get through this line, this resistance here, then I definitely think we're going to come back down a little bit further. And I personally believe, like I said, we're going to retest 260, build some sort of support. You usually, like, I mean, we had a good little bounce here, and then bam, we got rejected again and came down. We came up here. I'll look for us to probably get rejected again. Do I think tomorrow, in all honesty, I would love it tomorrow if the market's melted down 2% or something like that, down 2 to 3%, because then, how far would that have, what would that be if we drop down to 260 again? So that'd be roughly, yeah, I would love it if we had a 2 to 3% drop tomorrow, because then, in all honesty, I believe the volatility is getting ready to end. Because we all know elevator down, staircase up. It takes a lot longer to go back up than it does down. So I would love it, in all honesty, if tomorrow or sometime this week we just melt down to 260, bounce off of it, have a nice little double bottom at 260, which I strongly believe is where it's going to be, somewhere around 260. Doesn't have to be exactly like 259 to 262, somewhere in there. Bounce, have a nice little double bottom at that point, and then start to possibly staircase our way back up. I mentioned in Discord, I think I might have on this channel too, I mentioned it a couple weeks ago whenever we first started melting down. I said, do not be surprised if this retests February lows. I said, call me crazy now, but we might retest February lows, and we have gotten pretty damn close. So 260 is kind of around the target for where I think we'll quote-unquote double bottom, but who knows, I could be wrong. We could just start to kind of staircase up from here. That's not usually what happens, which is why I said I want to see some sort of double bottom, but we'll see. It might take a week or two to play out, but overall I think the volatility is going to continue for probably at least, at the minimum, the next week or two. Telemarketers leaving me voicemails. But okay, so I'm actually going to pull up what I actually bought, and now when I say what I have bought in October, so obviously everybody knows I bought some Ford, which I think, if I remember right, did really good today. A percent, but I mean, it's done good lately, right? And I called it out, it might have been on the Sunday Stock Watch, if I remember right. We called out Ford that it's just gotten so low that it can almost do nothing but go up from here. I mean, obviously it could go to zero, but it's Ford, right? So actually, what I'll be referring to here is actually my IRA account within my Chase Bank app, which I do not like by any means, but they gave me 100 free trades, so I'm going to take advantage of them, and then whenever I run out, go ahead and cash it all out. So currently I have bought, I believe, 2 shares of SPSM. I bought these actually prematurely when the market had first started melting down. I bought it right here thinking that there was some sort of, again, I don't know what I was really thinking. I thought I'd seen some sort of reversal, and I bought, and I was up quite a bit, and then it just came down. This I'm probably going to hold very long term. My target sell is somewhere around $33. If I remember right, I bought it, what, at like 29? No, not quite. Maybe it was like 31. Somewhere on there. It's like around $29 to $31. But yeah, I have 3 actually. 3 shares of that. So I'm still currently down on that. I'm going to actually click on my positions overall. So I'm still down about $10 on that position, but like I said, I plan on anything that's in here, I'm planning on holding for at least weeks at the minimum, probably months, if not a year. So SPSM, that one, like I said, the technicals, I kind of failed on, but overall, it's gonna still be a good one. All it is the trust portfolio, kind of similar to SPY, in all honesty. I mean, not identical, but obviously has had a pretty similar move, right? So, I mean, that might be one that you guys want to look at that are wanting to get into something like SPY, but don't have the money to necessarily do so. They tend to move pretty damn similar to one another. What I actually bought today was KHC, which is Kraft Heinz, of course. I actually bought it when it was down. I'm actually up on that position. I'm up about 1/4% because I bought it when it was around 54. I bought it around 54.80, so I'm up 17 cents on it. Not a big deal. But I bought it. I saw it was down about 2.25%. I watched it, and I like how it's setting up, in all honesty. I mean, obviously it's down big on the year. I think it's got earnings coming up. I honestly think that's tomorrow, actually. So I want to listen to that while I'm probably at work. So earnings tomorrow, I think, are going to be good. I think that's going to catapult this back up. If not, whatever. I got one share of it, right? It's not a big deal. That's the thing, too, that I can't stress enough to you guys that are getting started. Do small position sizes. This trade, one share, I mean, it's about, let's see, I got like $300 in there, so it's about 1/5, 1/6, something like that of the account, which is a decent size and all, but it's not enough to like make or break me. And obviously this is a good company. It's more than likely not going to get cut in half next week or anything like that. So, and I like the dividend too, so I'll collect a dividend here probably in it's usually around the same time as earnings, so they're about a week or two apart. So yeah, I'll collect that nice little almost 63 cent dividend as well. Free money, of course. I also have, I believe, 6 shares, maybe 10. Let's see, my total is 6. So yeah, just 6 shares of SiriusXM. For some reason, I thought I had 10, but I bought 5 this morning. Apparently, I already had 1 share previously. So I bought 2 shares of SiriusXM, which apparently are doing decently today. Today it was up almost 3%. Sounds like the earnings, I didn't even listen to that earnings report, but earnings beat expectations. You got the dividend getting ready to pay out here in the upcoming week. So I have 6 shares, so I mean I'll get a whopping like 8 cents in dividends. So here in the next week or two, I'll be collecting close to $1 in dividends as well. And then of course I hope to see these companies continue to go up in price, of course. So those are what, I believe that's it for what I have. And then I have still $76 in cash in case if I find something that looks like a good deal to me. Like say SiriusXM comes up, and then it breaks through this resistance of 637, comes up, and then it comes back down and tests that, because obviously that's going to be a little resistance. Old resistances become what, new supports. Whenever it comes back down, I might decide to buy. I mean, obviously no one's a fortune teller. I can't tell if that's going to happen, but that's a scenario where I might use some of that money. I'm also attracted to Roku right now. I'm looking at buying. Earnings is coming up, I believe, yeah, next week. So I'm probably gonna sit out earnings until after earnings, unless if it has a good little red day, a good little pullback, and retest around $51. I don't want to buy it above 55. In all honesty, I don't even want to buy it above 54, 53. I would like to get it somewhere between 50 and 52. And if the earnings are bad, which I'm thinking they're actually going to be positive, then I don't know. I'll be watching it closely, to say the least. I want to take a position by Friday, but I mean, we'll see. But other than that, that is actually all that I have bought so far. Like I said, I got some SPSM, KHC, which is Kraft Heinz, which I'm up about 1/4% on. SiriusXM, overall on that investment, I am still down 8 cents. Not a big deal. I'm down 8 cents overall. Most of my positions are pretty unched, other than SPSN. That one's down overall about 8% of the total like investment that I put up, but obviously it's just gotten rocked lately. So with that being said, those are all of the investments I made in October, most of which coming within the last day, last week or two for that matter. And then, like I said, obviously I have the Iron Condor on XOP. You all can see how I set up my Iron Condor for XOP. If I were to do a longer term Iron Condor, like further out, I'd probably do a range of, like, say I wanted to do a monthly Iron Condor where it wouldn't expire till like Thanksgiving. I'd probably set my price between 31, maybe 32, between 31 and $32 and $40. It just depends on the premium, of course, that I would receive. I would obviously do as much of a chicken Iron Condor as possible, but at the end of the day, you still want it to be safe. So the whole goal, obviously, is to hold it as long as you can, and not have to pay commissions on the backside either, so you can collect that full premium and only worry about that $454 that you had put up in the beginning. So overall, signs are pointing towards the XOP is going to be going back up here in the near future. I want to take a look at oil futures. Of course, oil futures are pointing to the same, and you can see it's just been trading just really for months now in between this range ever since May. So right around when I was doing this full time, between $75 and $65, just this $10 range, and we're pretty much in the same range on XOP. It's about a $5 to $10 range that has just been trading in really for the last 5-6 months now. So I'll double check our stream really quick, make sure we're still doing alright. Still got 3 of you tuning in. So if there's not any questions or any ticker symbols you guys want me to break down, then I'll probably go ahead and start wrapping this up. I'm just going to take a look at just overall stocks that I have in my active watching, just to kind of see what the markets overall did today. Grubhub was one I was attracted to. I almost bought some of, and I didn't. In all honesty, I almost bought some Facebook whenever it was in the 140s. Didn't. Wish I did, of course, now, but it's just so volatile. I don't really want to buy anything that's super volatile within that IRA account. One, because obviously I'm down to like 96 free commission trades, and two, they track that capital gains like nothing. So the more that I can limit my overall activity within that account, the better. I don't want to be buying one thing one day and then selling it the next day. I kind of want to hold for at least a few weeks on stuff. AMD, so I heard AMD was actually up. Yeah, it was up about 6% today. So you guys know I'm really not a big fan of AMD. I mean, I'm a fan of it whenever it's like sub $10, but ever since it popped up over $15 to $20, I knew that this was going to come. How'd their earnings do, by the way? I didn't even ever think about that. So yeah, their earnings sucked. If I remember right, their guidance wasn't that great either. And if I remember right, chip stocks and all that have gotten just smashed lately. And like I mentioned, I pull up this chart every time I mention AMD. Just go back like the last 15 years, and you'll see that every time it pops, it comes back down. So you can see back in 2012 it popped up over $8. Well, that was only $8. Let me go back further actually. 11, where was the last time? There we were. Last time it popped up over $40 here back in 06. This one was about 12 years ago, popped up over 46. Bam, came back down to sub $5. If we go back, I only did 12 years or 15 years, didn't I? But you can see, just, I mean, where the hell was it? It must have been the 20-year chart. I know there were like 4 instances in like the last 20 to 25 years or something like that. Let's just do max available. I don't even know what the max available is. Okay, so let's go back. So this was the time we already mentioned, back in 06. It popped and then came back down. We look at it again back in, when was this, 2000. Obviously there was a huge bubble overall back in 2000, but still popped up over $40. Bam, came back down to reality, sub $5 again for a while. And then again back in 97, popped up over $20. Bam, came back down. I mean, just time and time again, the stock has a good couple months, and then like clockwork, it comes crashing back down to sub $5, $10. So, good day trade, yes. Good long-term investment? Absolutely not. I would not hold this stock to for nothing. Now, back at 161, would I have bought it? Hell yeah. I probably would have bought 100 shares of that, because imagine if you just bought 100 shares and you rode that puppy up, because you know it was going to pop eventually sub 20 bucks. Say you sold that damn thing around $25, you made $24 times 100 shares. I mean, even that, you made, what, 2,500 bucks, something like that. Now, even then, that was way back in 2015, so you'd have had to hold that shit for 3 years. But if you were trying to build some sort of retirement account at 161, AMD was attractive as hell, wasn't it? So, long-term trade, swing trade, no. Day trade, yes. Option, short-term option trading, like Josh, I know you trade, yes. Overall, I'd be like tomorrow, if you catch it on time, Josh, tomorrow I'd be shorting the hell out of it. I mean, the fact that it was up 6% today tells me it's probably going to be down 2% tomorrow. Now, obviously, it's oversold on this chart. Let me go back to our 1 year chart. Our 1 year is showing pretty oversold, and that it might have a short-term bounce. And I mean, it might try to fill the gap up to 20 bucks again. But chances are it's going to just keep coming back down. And then it has earnings again just after New Year's. And I think it's going to get crushed again and come back under $10 to $15 for sure by then. Just depends, though, at the end of the day. I could be totally wrong. I do like the CEO. The CEO is a sharp woman for sure. And, I mean, she knows what she's doing, and she says all the right things, but at the end of the day, you can only say so much. The numbers talk at the end of the day. Let's see. Spotify was pretty attractive to me, too. Apple is not. Apple is really hung in, but I'm not buying anything like Apple until we have the quote-unquote next big meltdown. And I'm not talking about a 10-12% correction. I'm talking about a 30% plus correction. Crash at that point, but which obviously you can't predict. That's why you always just have a little bit in cash just to be safe. Walmart, I've been mentioning to like my family and whatnot that I've been wanting to kind of invest. I was like, now, I mean, I said this back when it was around $90 a share. I was like, Walmart's a good little investment to keep through the end of the year, because they're going to have good numbers out of Q3 and Q4 as we get close. Like, you have all the Christmas numbers and everything. So it'll probably go up, I'm predicting, to around $110, $120. So if you got in at 90, you'd have made $30 a share, which would have been roughly 30% or so profit, maybe more, 30 to, not quite 40, right around 30% profit in just a few months, which obviously beats the market. But I didn't myself, and now it's too high for me to even want to touch it. But, I mean, overall, of course, good company. It's probably going to do good through the rest of the year. Planet Fit. Man, I don't know what I ate today. Planet Fitness is doing good still. Is it in buy territory? So, might have had a double bottom. Earnings are actually, yeah. Planet Fitness, I might buy some, depending on if it's down tomorrow. I don't want to buy it close to 50, but I think this is probably going to retest $55, which would obviously be a good, what? If you bought it, I want to buy it around at least 47. If it retest around 53, pretty strong resistance right around 53. That's 12% return. If it retests all-time highs right around 55, you're looking at 16%. So I mean, that might be a good potential swing trade if you like trading earnings, but also long term. I mean, long term, it's a good trade too. It came from 25 all the way up to 55, so it over doubled in less than a year, guys. So good company for sure. Has a nice. They don't have a dividend yet, do they? I mean, it's still a new company, so I don't know why I was expecting them to have a dividend. But overall, I don't know. I'm probably going to sit out this time because I want to see a bad earnings report and see how it handles it. I think it's going to eventually come back down to around $40 at some point, and then around there I'll buy. I'll probably go ahead and set an alert actually too, just so I am reminded by that. I'll just do below 40.25. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. But, I mean, there's going to be a strong support there for it for sure, because it was a hell of a resistance, which makes sense because, I mean, each 10 you're going to have some resistance. So, 40.25 is probably going to act as a pretty strong support. So, I don't know. This earnings report might not be the greatest. especially since it's for Q3, right? Yeah, that'll be Q3 earnings. So their Q3 probably is not going to be that good just because gyms don't tend to get that many new memberships in Q3, right? They beat, oh no, that one they did not beat earnings. Expectations. They didn't beat expectations that time either. But, I mean, overall, it's a good company. They keep expanding nation and worldwide. So, I mean, they're probably a good company to keep in your back pocket for sure, long term. Verizon, not too attractive, pretty expensive now. eBay, right around where it's been. Caterpillar is super attractive now. Obviously, we had some. Man, it's gone up a lot the last day or two. I knew it was around like 115 at one point, but obviously we had some more trade. Obviously, this is something to be careful with because obviously, anytime there is bad trade talks, this thing is going to plummet. Now, anytime there are good trade talks, as you can see, this is going to go up. We had good trade talks today. There were talks that the U.S. and China are going to have some sort of deal by, my dog's like sniffing the doorknob, a trade deal by the end of the year. So obviously Caterpillar, probably, not 3M, but IBM, I'm sure IBM was up as well. Yeah, well, not much, but still up. And IBM's just been getting crushed too lately. IBM, man, that one might actually be a buy right now. I didn't hear anything about that earnings report, but it's gotten just absolutely obliterated this year. So overall, IBM and Caterpillar ones to take a look at, especially if the trade talks continue to kind of get better, so to speak. But obviously, be very careful and be wary of trade discussions, of course. Lennar is at 43 still. Kroger still around $30. So, and CenturyLink still around $20 to $22 like it's been. So, yeah, everything. I mean, there's definitely some deals out there. You just got to go out and find what companies you see value in. Not just technically, but just like how you see the company overall. That's why I went ahead and invested, not a lot, obviously, just one share. But that's why I went ahead and put a little bit of my money in Kraft Heinz. I know that overall it's a good company. If I remember right, Warren Buffett owns quite a bit of it as well. SiriusXM. Those are two companies that I see lots of value in. I use in my day-to-day life, and the technicals overall, to me at least, set up pretty nicely. I saw that we had tested around $54 back in May, and then we rebounded up to around $64. So I mean, if I can make $10 off that alone, I'll be happy with that. That's what, roughly 20% profit, something like that. I mean, I bought it around, what I say, 54.80, right? So let's say I bought it right there. Say we come up and test 64.50. That's 17.5% profit. I can't complain about that. And say I decide to hold it even longer because outlook looks good, and then somehow we test. Obviously, there's going to be some big resistance up here. So say we retest 77, or hell, let's even just say $75. That ends up being 36 to 40% profit. So that's why I went ahead and invested just a small bit in that. And like I said, the SiriusXM speaks for itself. I mean, it was on sale, has a nice tiny little dividend. If you buy enough shares, it'll add up, and I think the outlook is pretty strong. My average buy cost is around $5.89 or something like that. So if it returns close to all-time highs, you're looking at 30% profit. You're going to see some strong resistance around $7 probably, so that's around 18% profit. So either way, the outlook on SiriusXM is still decent. Like I said, you're probably going to see a little bit of resistance around 630, just because that's where it got rejected once. And chances are, in all honesty, if it comes back down as low as $5, I'll probably scoop up a lot more, to be honest with you. I'll probably scoop up another at least 10 shares or something like that. Who knows? But like I said, from an investing, and this is my quote-unquote emergency fund, just so you guys don't get confused, because I know I mentioned in previous videos, I'm limiting myself to $50 till I finish off paying off the rest of my debt here in this upcoming month and a half. By mid-December, I'm going to be debt-free, of course, so that'll be awesome. But this is actually my quote-unquote emergency fund. That's why I'm trying to use more of quote-unquote safer investments, things that aren't going to be moving more than 2 to 3% of max per day. So those are what I see value in, and hopefully you guys go ahead and check the stream one last time. If there's no more questions, like I said, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. We've been on here for over 40 minutes now. So awesome stream, awesome stuff. Seeing we gained another subscriber, which is awesome, of course. And like I always say, if you guys have any questions, ticker symbols, don't feel keyboard shy. Definitely shout them out in the chat, or even after this video uploads, if you see this video in the future, definitely feel free to just shoot it out in the comments below. But until next time, guys, happy Halloween, of course. For those of you that celebrate Halloween, I'm probably not doing nothing myself tonight, but hey, I did happen to put a little bit of orange on at least. But we're already going into November, so finish out the year strong. 2 more months left. Set some goals for yourself. Like I said, if there's one thing that sticks with you from this stream, I cannot stress it enough, is stick to percentages. Don't think about dollars. Obviously, it comes down to dollars at the end of the day when you see your profit, but think about percentages. If you see, hey, I made 4% on my account today, give yourself a pat on the back and just relax for the day. You made 4%. That's more than a lot of people are going to make. So think about percentages. Don't think about dollars. The dollars will come if you keep getting green percentages and not red. But until next time, guys, like I said, if you're new, consider subscribing below and definitely checking out our Discord group chat. There's like 30, 40 of us in there now, so it's awesome stuff for sure. But like I said, until next time, guys, keep on out there making those profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom the rest of this year and beyond. And I will see you guys, like I said, probably Saturday, Friday or Saturday, depending on my workload and whatnot, the end of the week. Actually, if I remember right, I'll work Saturday, so it depends on Saturday, if not for sure for Sunday stock watch. Until then, take it easy, everybody.